guys, Matt from Travelling Naturopath, husband of Mindy, the naturopath. I just wanted to show you a couple of things we've got in the van. Do lots of different videos of different hacks and tips and tricks that we do, and today I just wanted to show you some of the stuff that's stored. So, as everyone knows, a caravan's like a TARDIS. There's a million storage spots, so say under this seat I've always got goodies everywhere. A good tip is get one of these babies. So it's just a power pack, but it's one I have from a building site that I used to work in building, so this was a standard one. It has a safety switch just like you would in a fuse box in a house, and when you're camping, one thing you don't want to do is kill yourself using electricity. There's always water and all sorts of stuff lying around, so one of these gives you 4 points for power that can be used outside, inside or whatever, and the trigger on the side will, you know, stop before your heart beats. So if you do get electrocuted, you'll be pretty much right. Probably about $100 pretty much, but that's not the main thing I wanted to worry about. It was like our little bag of goodies. So all sorts of stuff around all the different storages that you come across and that you end up needing. This stuff I hope I don't need a lot. A lot of people call this prepping. You know, the idea of prepping to me isn't crazy. It's just being prepared for any situation. It's not a shit hit the fan scenario that I'm worrying about. I'm just worrying about everyday prepping. So parachute cord, bungee cord, whatever you want to call it. This stuff's gold. So nothing exciting, except it's very, very strong rope. This can be used for anything. Like I've got some above my head that's an indoor clothesline when it was raining last week. So it's great for doing anything. You can tie anything up, you know, bag kids, tie them up, that kind of thing. So you can use it for whatever you want. Hostages, whatever you take your fancy. So I always have about 4 or 5 of these. There's also more in a toolbox at the back of the van. I'll give the links on the bottom of the video where I buy this sort of stuff, because this is high quality but super cheap. I don't buy this in Australia. This is coming from China, but it's direct from a factory in China, and it's the best quality you can get. You're probably looking at about $3 or $4 for a bundle of 100 yards. I don't know what yards are, but that's what they say on the packets. So I don't know, I think yards you're probably looking at about, we'll call it 50 metres just to be safe. It's probably a little bit more, but you know, for $15 say for what I'm holding, it's amazing what this stuff gets used for constantly. So always have some really good paracord on you. It can be a lifesaver. Lots of soap. You can never have enough soap. This is goat soap. It's something that I bought in a massive case, really cheap. It's natural goat milk soap or whatever. You can have any sort of soap, it doesn't matter. This was just a bargain I got one day, so that's what's in here. So there's always soap. There's lots of soap. We've got things like little cups, tiny little portable cups that just pull up and form a cup. So you can see there, it's like it's not very big, but they pop down into nothing. So little disc cups are always good if you're going on a hike and that kind of thing. You know, can't have enough cups. And S.O.S tin. We've got about 3 of these, one in every car. I'll come up closer to show you. So it's basically just a tin with a flint. So you can strike that, ching ching, start a fire. Always good to have a waterproof way of starting a fire. An emergency whistle, which you know you should always have if you're hiking off track. That kind of thing. Give them to the kids if they're running around. Good for emergencies, or even if something, you know, goes wrong. Whistle, everyone can hear. This one I won't bother pulling it out. It cuts trees down. You put your finger through a ring. It's 2 rings, and you do this, and it's like a barbed wire rope, and it will cut through pretty thick limbs. So this is like having a portable power saw or a portable hand saw. Very good. As you can see, all these are new. I don't use them. They're just used for, you know, special events, that kind of thing, if I run over any other tools. So a little all-in-one tool thing, torches, knives, bottle openers, all that kind of stuff. They're pretty common. Have a compass. Compass is very handy. I think a lot of people don't know how to read a compass anymore to a map. It's always worth learning things like that, so you can actually get around without needing a phone GPS or, you know, that kind of stuff, because compass never gets wrong, it never runs out of batteries, so always having a compass. And the last thing in this little tin, like I said, I've got a few of these, this is only a small one, is another multi-tool. Blades, openers, screwdrivers, all that kind of thing. This one's small enough to fit in your back pocket, so you can go for a walk, you've always got a blade, something on you to cut. So that's an example of like the S.O.S kit. It's just a little prepper's kit. Probably the flint is one of the better things in that kit. The cutter is another good thing, the compass. Look, they're all actually good things. There's nothing in here I wouldn't do without. These little tins, again, link on the video down there somewhere. These, I think I paid about $15 for this one. So it comes in a little tin. Obvious what it's for. They're handy as anything. Every single car I have has one. The 3 cars that we've got all have an S.O.S kit and a medical kit, a decent grade one. The amount of times you have to use these kind of things, you'd be amazed. For the $15 to $20, you can spend up to hundreds if you want. A little kit like this can be a lifesaver, and as much as just being handy. And for the kids, it's fun. They think it's great fun playing with stuff like this. So we've got more little cups, things like that. This one is quite good. It's a foam box. Show you up closer. Open her up. Wind and waterproof matches. See the size of that flint? That's not going to go out. On the side there's the striker. So you've got about 25 matches that you can light in any condition. It could be as windy as anything, raining as well, and this will spark up and it will start and stay alight for around about 20 seconds. So you've got 20 seconds to either get the light or the fire or whatever you need going. And they come in the little tubes, which are pretty much waterproof as well. So, you know, I wouldn't bet my life on it that water wouldn't get into that if I fell into a river with that in my back pocket. But general water resistance, we'll call it instead. So, an example of how many I'd carry in this van. You can see in there, that whole thing's loaded with them. So there's about 10 packets of matches. Again, link on the bottom of the screen. I'll show you where I get all this gear from. It's cheap and easy. These matches were about 60 cents a thing. So you're talking $6 for matches that will never die and can't be blown out no matter how windy, rainy or anything. You could light one in a cyclone if you want. They're very important. You always should have a, you know, a source of ignition for any reason, for a million reasons. So they're well worth owning and having. Not so usual maybe, but should be. Have this little packet here. You can see it's all. These are emergency blankets. I'm not going to unfold this one, but it's quite big. It's long enough for me to lie in. So if I keep unfolding it, it'll be about 1.8 meters long and about 1200 wide, so 1.2 meters wide. These are just a lifesaver, literally. All the SES crews, emergency workers, ambos, you'll see them when someone's at a car crash. This is the first thing they put on them. It holds your body heat in, which is excellent if someone falls in a really cold river. That kind of condition. It's not so much an electric blanket at night time for comfort. It's not at all. But these stop, you know, people who fall into, say, you know, really cold water. You've got to take their clothes off straight away. If you've got an emergency blanket like this, it's not a problem. You can wrap them up. Their own body heat will keep their thermal temperatures up, so that they won't go thermic. They won't get hypothermia. So again, one for everyone in the family, in every box, in every kit, in every little prepper kit. So that one I'm not even going to try to put back in there. It's never been pulled out, obviously. And again, really important stuff, especially when you're hiking, when you're off the beaten track, or you just got really bad water. These are drinking straws. It's actually a filter. Lanyard, you can see it there. Lanyard goes around your neck, so I can hang it, walking through the bush, whatever. And quite simple. You pull the top cap off. You could go up to a creek. The creek could look like a sewer, and you suck through the straw, and you'll get clean water. 99% effective. These ones, I've got a few of them here. These ones do 700 litres, so they're a portable purifier. 700 litres goes through it, removes 99.9% of all bacteria. So these are kind of things that Army use. Third world countries, you know, I think some really nice charities are running around giving them out in third world countries. And literally a lifesaver. They also fit into water bottles. So you could collect water from a stream that was putrid, stick this baby in it, in your water bottle when you're walking along, and you've got a source of clean water, no matter what the water conditions are around you. This thing will basically filter out anything that would kill you or make you really sick. I'd also advise people travelling overseas to take one with them. If everyone's been to Bali and Fiji and all these kind of places, if you think the water's pretty crap in Australia sometimes, you go there for a holiday for 2 weeks, you'll end up sick for a week of it. Taking something like this could be the difference of enjoying your 2-week holiday instead of lying in bed throwing up with diarrhoea for the week. So water straws, again, look at the link on the bottom of the screen. I don't mind giving everyone the information on where I buy my gear from. I always buy it direct from the manufacturer. Why pay, you know, $80, $60 for one of these when I can get one of these for about $12, $15. Again, I won't open it because it's sterile as it is, but you know, that's a life-saving kind of device, especially if you're off track. Something goes wrong, you need water. I can get the water, no one else can. You know, if I'm kind enough, because I've got so many, I might even let other people drink. Same kind of deal. The last thing in this little kit, this isn't a whole kit, this is just an example of kits. This one is the same kind of deal, but it's actually a pump with a cube, so I can throw that into a creek if I don't want to walk to the water's edge. I can throw this end, it has a weight and a filter on it, throw it about 1.5 meters away from me, and I pump, 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 pump. The water's sucked up through the tubes, pumped through the filter, and out comes a clean source of water. Also comes with oil and stuff for the piston that's inside it. This one is, I think it's typical of a Russian army issue, and again, this one's just like the water tube filter, except it has a pump, so it actually will filter a bit better, because you know, the water sucking ones are you're only going to get as much water as you can suck really hard, so you've got to suck quite hard to get water through them, which if you're feeling a bit crook or you're sick already and you're having to use something like this in the middle of nowhere, the pumping one is a lot easier to use. Comes in a good little hard case, like a really solid case, so it won't get damaged. This one, the little tubes like this, they do 700 litres. The pump one is 2,000 litres, and again 99.9. So this one cost about $30, $25. Again, at shops you're looking at about 80 or something. So look at the bottom links, and I'll list all the places where I get these things from. The quality's really good. Take a couple of weeks to turn up. Most of it comes from overseas. So that's just a quick video on some of the gear I have sitting underneath in the different storage spots around the caravan. Unknown weird things even. Don't even know what that is, but it's a part of the little prep kit here, so I'll throw it back in. So as you see, lots of little drinks, straws. Probably one of the most valuable is emergency blankets. I think I've actually got 6 in here, I've got a spare. Stops hypothermia, that kind of thing. Incredibly good, incredibly cheap. I think these are about $1 each, $1.50 each. This whole prep kit itself is only about $40. Like, you know, people spend more than that during a week of buying coffee. But this stuff can possibly save your life, and also just get you out of some sticky situations. And knowing it's always here and tucked away, you know, it keeps my mind at ease that, you know, when you go off-road, you're not always camping on powered sites with sewer and all the bells and whistles, indoor play centres and all that kind of stuff. They're not always my idea of fun or camping. So when you leave the beaten track and you're running off just tank water, a couple of 100 litres of tank water, if you can not fill up from a really good source, which is chlorinated, you know, the drinking straws, that kind of thing, will get you through a week or two. The pump one, 2,000 litres, is enough for about a month of a family drinking water. So things like that are just invaluable. Why wouldn't you spend the $25 just to know it's there? This is like a health insurance package. It's to keep you healthy, clean, and you know, from possible death from hypothermia and things like that. So $45 maybe kit. You know, mainly from overseas. This stuff mainly just because it's a bit of a rip-off in Australia for this kind of stuff. Camping shops must have about 1,000% markup, and I'm not really willing to pay it. You know, when I can get the stuff, you know, direct from the manufacturer. So again, always look at the bottom of the videos because this kind of information is good. For the fact that I source my stuff after being in the wholesale trade, it was my job dealing with China and importing. for about 5 or 6 years. So I've got some really good contacts, and I know some really good places to get stuff super cheap. So anyway, Matt from Travelling Naturopath just doing another quick video on simple prepping gear that I think everyone should have, as well as a lot of first aid. Like, this is prepping gear, but the Caravan itself is full of all other gear, like so, like big first aid cupboards everywhere, big lockable first aid cupboards and things like that. So they should be, you know, everywhere. Anyway, that's Matt from Travelling Naturopath. Hope you enjoyed the video. Always releasing new ones. Subscribe and look at the links below for some really good information. Could save you a bit of money and your life even.